Hello, and welcome to the NerdCast. For a new little thing we're going to start doing for NerdCast, not only will we do top fives, not only will we do debates, even though we've only done one debate, we're going to do, me and Grayson and CJ, Fletcher and CJ when he shows up, we do a little movie night thing. And we decided, me and Grayson, that we're going to start doing reviews for those movies on NerdCast. So these are going to be a little shorter because it's going to be just our brief thoughts on the movie. I was going to write out just a big long review recapping the movie, going step by step, and then saying what's bad about it, what's good about it, why is this movie such a mess, but why do I love it. But instead, we're just going to do this. We're just going to spit out our minds, like on the fly, come up with what we're going to say. May I start?
Yes.
Okay. Dora the Explorer and the Lost City of Gold is garbage. But I really like it. It is a very entertaining movie, and it has a lot going for it. But it could have just been so much better, and I know that's hard to think. Because, they tried more than I thought they would for a Dora the Explorer movie. But I feel like they did try, and good on them. But I feel like they could have tried harder because I feel like they actually had a pretty good story, and I was like, wow, they're gonna make a good Dora the Explorer movie. But there's one thing that
the thing is about the story is
what?
This movie is a rebranded ripoff, and I'll get to that after
Yeah.
you finish.
I don't think that's the worst part of the movie. I feel like since it's kind of like an Explorer movie parody, I feel like it's kind of more paying homage, even though they did steal some direct plot lines, which is kind of weird. But I do think that that's not the biggest problem with the movie. I think the biggest problem with the movie is the girl and Diego dating. What was her name? Sammy. Her name was Sammy. I thought all of the characters were good. I liked Dora, I liked Diego, I liked Randy, I liked Sammy. They were all entertaining. Until for some reason, they tried to force two characters, Sammy and Diego, who had literally no chemistry, literally their only bits of chemistry were, them bumping into each other, them waking up on top of each other, and then, him helping her out of mud, I think. And while there have been worse little relationships like that, where they literally have no chemistry, or they were just arguing the entire time, I think, dear echo, hold on. So yeah, their relationship just felt really forced, and if you're going to do a forced romantic subplot, at least do it with the characters who do have chemistry, Dora and Randy. And while I did like how they didn't necessarily have to give the main character a love interest, I feel like that would have been better than Sammy and Diego, because I liked Sammy and Diego both as characters, and they were, after they became a couple near the end, oh yeah, and spoilers for a Dora the Explorer movie, which is very predictable, but, they just, they had a little bit of chemistry after they confessed, but there was basically no build-up except for them bumping into each other romantically, ooh! So yeah, their chemistry was very forced. Dora and Randy actually did have a lot of chemistry, but they didn't get together, and I'm kind of fine with that. I feel like neither of the pairings should have gotten together, if I'm truly being honest. I feel like they already had their set character arcs, Diego learning that, appearances aren't everything, and to, be more adventurous. Dora, with her, over character arc of, be a treasure hunter, maybe explorer, not treasure hunter, that stuff, and then Sammy becoming, less obnoxious and realizing she's not the smartest and being less petty. Randy didn't really have a story, but that's just because he's the comic relief and didn't really need one. And I guess if he and Dora did get together, I guess that would give him a story arc, but I feel like Dora's arc was already fine. It's just that I feel like if they cut out the Sammy Diego thing, the movie would have basically been the same, and I probably would have enjoyed it the same. And we would finally get a kids movie that didn't have a romantic subplot. Dear gosh. Grayson? You can speak now.
Okay. Have you seen Indiana Jones: The Lost Crusade? If you haven't, what are you doing with your life, Braden?
I'm not going
But
to...
also, Dora the Explorer is a rebranded ripoff
No, I
of
disagree.
Indiana
I
Jones:
disagree.
The
I feel
Last
like they're paying
Crusade.
homage to it. I feel like it's more just like... I feel like if you are an Indiana Jones fan, you'll like
No,
Dora because I feel like
watch
they're
No, you can't
intentionally...
say this because you haven't even watched
But
Indiana
you
Jones.
told me all of like the stuff that's similar, and I was like, okay, that is a little similar. But I feel like they were just paying like homage and respect to it because this movie was clearly made for people who like jungle adventure movies and stuff like that. And I feel like those, and they even talked about movies all throughout the films and like jungle puzzles, and I thought that was really funny. So I feel like that's not really that big of a problem. I feel like it's definitely an observation and it's definitely kind of weird, but I feel like it could be excused as just paying homage, and if not, then
Okay,
still.
no, no. Because this movie has the exact same plot. Okay, I am not going to give any spoilers for each one of them, but I'm going to say the reasons they're similar. A group of 3. A group of 4. Dora the Explorer had 4, and Indiana Jones: Last Crusade had 3. Then one of them in the group betrays.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Actually, Dora had a
then
group of
there's
5.
then there's also when they go to the final destination, the whole movie they're trying to get to. They were like doing stuff about. There's people left in this ancient area, and then they have to be like, they have to choose something, and the person who betrays picks the wrong thing. Just like the Holy Grail, they picked the wrong Holy Grail. And in this one, he picked a coin instead of water, and then met an end. And then in Indiana Jones, there was again bad guys, like they were Nazis, but in Dora
They're
they
like,
were terrorists.
yeah, and there was Jungle Guardians.
And there's a love between 2 characters,
a dumb one.
but not in Indiana Jones.
So
Then there was finding the father and dad. That was ridiculous. So the whole, like half of the movie, they're trying to find the father, or mom/dad in Dora the Explorer. And then, like, through half the movie, they find these people. And then the other half of the movie is defeating the bad guy. That's exactly how it happened in Indiana Jones. And the way they escape is very similar. The one person still left over in the ancient civilization says to not do this one thing. Like in Indiana Jones, it was don't take the Holy Grail past this one thing. But just like in Dora the Explorer, do not take the statue. It happened. And consequences
yes.
for doing that.
So Dora...
There are exactly the same movies, except one is Dora the Explorer, and the other one is not.
I feel like they were very similar, and I feel like that it's kind of a
Well, you
problem.
haven't even watched...
Well, but you literally just explained all those similarities. Of course they're very
I
similar.
know, but they are the exact
I know!
same.
You just told me!
And Dora the Explorer is way worse than
obviously.
Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. It's a pure ripoff.
Well, yeah, But the
There's
movie's not.
even the there's even the start of the movie where they're children. That's
Oh, that scene
it's
though. Can we
literally
speak
the
of
same
that
thing.
scene though? That the as soon as I turned on the movie, I saw that scene and I was like, "Oh my gosh, the agony I'm about to bear." Thank gosh, like the backpack and the map were just CGI crap. But another mention of CGI, Boots and Swiper look really bad. Like you get used to them and they're very fun characters. Swiper and Boots are some of the best parts of the movie with their humor, but they look terrible. You get used to Boots, kind of, but not Swiper. Swiper is disgusting. He is really fun as a character, though, and I feel like that is a problem. The fact that's an Indiana Jones ripoff, but I feel like the movie itself, it's not that bad. It's enjoyable. It just had a lot of missed potential, and it's not like a Batman movie where I care that it had missed potential. Because if it was a Batman movie or something that I cared about that seemed to be good, or that it could have been good if they just fixed it up a little bit, I would have been mad. But for this, it's Dora the Explorer, and since it's still kind of enjoyable, it's fine. The movie's fine. It's a very entertaining movie. Entertainment factor, I would give a 7 out of 10. Quality level, I'd give a 5. There's so many little scenes in the movie that you can see, hey, the people who made it were trying. But then there's a scene that follows that kind of ruins that. Like the scene with Dora and her grandma is actually very touching when they're like hiding in the closet. It's a very touching scene and it's the best scene in the movie easily. But it like and the movie could have been just like that. And the scene where she's talking to Diego, like Dora when they're in the jungle, that scene was really good. But all the other scenes that weren't good, that ruined those messages, and the movie just doesn't understand what it's trying to be. I've watched the movie twice and I still don't get what the message is, even though I've seen it twice. Like, what is the. I know they had their message that was like, be an explorer, not a treasure hunter, don't be greedy. Which, yeah, but how does that tie into, like, Dora's arc? What was Dora's arc? Like, is she supposed to be weird or not? Is this a being weird good, or is this a being weird bad kind of movie? I don't know. I don't get it. What is the message? The only arc with, the only arcs, actually, with, like, kind of malleable messages, kind of, are Diego's arc, where he learns to trust, or he learns to be more adventurous, and then Dora's parents' arc, where they have to where like at the beginning they don't want her to be like adventure with them, but then they do, but then they have to like let her go to be like her own human, and that scene was really funny if from a parent's perspective. My mom thought it was really funny, the scene where they were like, I'm so happy for her, she has a life now. It was really funny. But yeah, the movie overall just screams missed potential, but that's not that bad of a thing since again it is a Dora the Explorer movie. But and the movie is still enjoyable. I would honestly recommend it for a pure enjoyment factor, but just know what you're getting into. But like when you're watching it, you probably aren't expecting a masterpiece, and you definitely don't get one. You get an enjoyable film with mixed messaging, a confused story, and awkward-ish pacing, and cliches, and rip-off of Indiana Jones. So overall, movie, not bad. Would I call it good?
Oh,
No, I wouldn't.
I
It's
don't know.
enjoyable though.
There's also a book in both movies. A book made by the mom and dad slash father.
Mm-hmm.
There is a book that they made that they kind of follow through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly like Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. It is a ripoff. If you watch one and then you watch the other, you'll obviously know which one is better. It's The Last Crusade.
Well,
Because
obviously.
it's a classic, in my opinion, the best out of the Indiana Jones movies. My top 3 favorite movie. And I'm kind of mad they literally just ripped off the movie.
I
Like,
feel like
come on, you could have gotten a little creativity, but it's obvious that the director watched the first episode of Dora the Explorer and then watched The Last Crusade and then thought to just merge them together.
yeah, they did, but at least the writers were kind of trying, and they tried to piece together some sort of thematic message, and they failed. My problem with the movie isn't that it's a ripoff, even though it definitely is. It's more that it just had missed potential and that it could have been a lot better. But one thing I will give the movie, it's pretty funny. Like I said, it's a very enjoyable movie. Like, very enjoyable. It's not boring, like, at all, because it's just a very enjoyable movie. It's pretty funny. It's definitely not meaningful in any way. You're not gonna come out of it and be like, whoa, that movie has changed my perspective on life, like movies like Hamilton and The Dark Knight. But it's fine. What would you, out of 10, what would you rate the movie, Grayson? I'd give it a 5. For quality, I'd give it a 5.
3
Really?
at the most, but usually a 2. It's a 2.
Wow. Not rate it not on quality, on enjoyment factor, like how much you enjoyed watching it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd give it a 7 on enjoyment and a 5 on quality. What would you on enjoyment? What would you give it?
1.
Wait, so you didn't enjoy the movie? You were laughing.
Yeah, add it.
I mean, yeah. But that's the thing. Bad movies are fun to watch. So, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like ironic enjoyment of the movie. The movie it's good from a bad perspective because of how, like, bonkers the movie is. And it does have a couple funny lines. CJ, go away. Oh, bark, 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 bark. Go away, we're recording. So before the video, we talked if he joined the party, we would just, like, try to bark at him to get him to leave. Leave, we're recording. Okay, bye. Anyways, this. CJ, leave. Bad boy. Bad boy. Bad boy. This has been NerdCast review of Dora the Explorer, City of the, what was it called? Dora the Explorer, the Lost City of Gold. Lost City of Gold. An enjoyable film that is kind of bad at the same time. CJ, shut up. Good night and good morning. Shut up, CJ.